Welcome back to Guess What Day It Is. It's either feast or famine. Welcome back to the channel. Remember to hit like and subscribe, share this with your friends, make a comment. All that stuff really helps us gain some traction here on YouTube. I would very much appreciate it. So if you remember, we had a pretty rough pay period this past time. We had a whopping $24 in net revenue, but we had a pretty good week this past week. So it gives me a little glimmer of hope. So before we go over the numbers, let's check out the booth and see what it looks like. So here's the booth. Quite a few items have left. We had a pretty busy Memorial Day weekend. Got quite a few Halloween things still left over. I think we sold about 60% of what we put in the booth. Still have some stuff to hopefully carry us at least another week or two. We do have some other things that need to be priced out and brought up. Still have the TV. I'm actually kind of surprised this is still here. This poor shelf is lean. Got to get some more stuff on here. Got a Scarecrow up there. That RCA Victor turntable, man, I just don't know. A couple phones left. Bowling is still here. Good selection of DVDs. We sell about 2 or 3 a week, so nothing spectacular. Got a nice new Sansui turntable. We have our Allied speakers still here. Graphic equalizer, I may have to reduce the price on that. I think I'm a little high on that. Got the DVD burner still here. Got our realistic speakers. We've got our Techniques linear turntable. Pioneer CD player still there. Still calling my name. Got a couple CBs down here and the Patrolman still in the booth. And toy section is pretty much unchanged. We did sell the Viewmaster, the projector. Some more Halloween stuff. I don't know if there's much of a market for the little 16mm cameras. That may go up in eBay, I'm not sure. A couple more Halloween items. Still have these beer signs, the Pabst Blue Ribbon calendar, the Blue Nun sign, and the Camel cigarette sign is still there too, which is also kind of surprising. So it looks pretty good. I got to get a light on this shelf out here on the front. I think that's going to help a lot, but got our work cut out for us. So as you can see, the booth leaned out quite a bit, and that's thanks in part to a 15% off sale that we had over the Labor Day weekend. We sold a bunch of stuff, all discounted to 15%, which, once again, we've talked about this before. It is what it is. I'm happy for the sales. Something I did learn, we did have a 20% off sale a couple weeks ago, and the Brass Armadillo actually refunded us 5% of that 20%. So it looks like 15% is the maximum that we're gonna have as a discount, unless we negotiate something over the phone or something along those lines. So not a big deal. So what did we sell? Well, it's a pretty long list. I'll try to go over it quickly. I probably won't put pictures up for each of these because there's just quite a few items, and none of them are necessarily collectible or anything like that. So we sold a Simpsons movie DVD, which is awesome. $6 list price, sold it for $5.10 after the discount. Multi-Motion Owl, had that listed for $10, sold it for $8.50. Next, we sold a Bewitching Wreath, $25 for that, $21.25 was the sale price. Halloween Stirring Witch, that was listed for $10. That sold for $8.50. Large Scarecrow, that was listed for $15. Sold it for $12.75. We sold the Viewmaster, finally. Not the hand one, but the projector Viewmaster. That's been in the booth pretty much since day one. That sold for $17, listed for $20. We sold the Atari Junior. That was listed for $50, sold it for $42.50. That's pretty good. We didn't do any reconditioning or anything for it. That's about retail price for it. So we had a Smoking Cauldron that was listed for $17.50. That ended up selling for $14.88. We had a Ghoul Metal House. That was listed for $15, sold for $12.75. We had some Phantom Portraits, another Halloween decoration, $15 list price, $12.75 sale price. We sold the Manon binoculars that have been in the booth since day one as well. They were listed for $50. They sold for $42.50. Very happy about that. We had a VHS rewinder. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you are very familiar with this because you don't want to get a fine when you take your copy of Ghostbusters back to the movie rental place. So list price, $15, $12.75 for that as well. We sold the Fisher receiver, which was listed for $50. That sold for $42.50. Kind of surprised it didn't sell a little quicker. That was a pretty nice receiver. We sold the TI-99, listed for $50, sold for $42.50 as well. That did not last very long. We had a Fly Around rubber bat, listed for $5, $4.25 for that. Animated lighted coffin. It was like a 5-foot blow-up kind of coffin. It was really too big to put on a shelf. We ended up putting it on the floor, so it was kind of in the way. That might have been a good thing too. $30 list price, $25.50 was the sale price. Out of Control Witch, $10, sold that for $8.50. Twinkle Skull, $7.50 list price, $6.38. Flickering Lantern, $15, sold that for $12.75. And the Beck & Kessel microscope, which also was in the booth since day one, finally got that sold. That sold for $45. That was only 10% off, which is interesting because that was after the sale. That was actually on the 2nd. There's a very good possibility that could have been another vendor that picked that up. So regardless, I'm happy it's gone. We'll get that out of the booth and we are good to go with that. So all in all, pretty good. Large volume of stuff. None of it was really, really high dollar, which is kind of nice. It's like small ball baseball, a bunch of base hits gets you to a winning game. So I'm very happy about that. So we got a lot of work to get that booth full and keep it full. If you've noticed that the video that you saw, the booth it's pretty empty. So I've got my work cut out for me. I've got some cool stuff that's going to be on the bench, which is a reminder. Check out the Friday video coming up. We've got some cassette tape goodies. If you're into cassette tapes, you're going to want to see that. We've got a classic Walkman and a nice tape deck that hopefully we can get working. So we do have some more receivers and other stuff that's going to be in that video as well. So remember, we have our Wednesday video like we have now. And we have our Friday video, which is more technical, behind the scenes kind of stuff. So if you're in the technical stuff, make sure you stay tuned for that on Friday. And remember, if you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll get a notification when those videos go live. And I really appreciate it. So thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time on Guess What Day It Is.